Dear students, today we will see repeatability, reproducibility, percentage gauge R&R, right? Total variation and percentage gauge R&R. We'll see here. Here there is a bullseye shown here. The hits are close to the target. This target is here. They are very close. Because this is far away. This is close, right? Therefore, they are accurate but not precise because they are far away from each other. Right? So high accuracy, low precision. We will see high precision and low accuracy here. High precision. They are all very close to each other, right? So repeatability is there very much, but they are not close to the target. Hits are not close to the target, but close to each other. Therefore, low accuracy and high precision. Now, precision can be split into two parts: repeatability and reproducibility. In repeatability, the variation that occurs when the same operator measures the same part repeatedly in a short time under the same conditions. Please note, even if one varies, then it becomes reproducibility. The operator should be same, the part should be same, measure should be different times, but within a short time. And the conditions for measurement should be same. Okay. And hence this error is called error due to gauge or equipment error. Gauge error or equipment error, we can call this repeatability error. Reproducibility is when different operators measure. Variation is arising using the same measurement process among different operators or among different instruments and over longer periods of time. So in all these cases, it is reproducibility. If it is different periods is measured, reproducibility. If it is by different operators, it is reproducibility. If it is using different instruments, then also it is reproducibility. Right? Now we will see, we will measure a height and time taken for a height. Right? Time taken to fall from a height. This height is given as h. The ball is falling, and the height we will not know what it is. We will see height is 150 mm and 100 mm. So for 150 mm, we will see the time for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and 20 seconds. So the average is 30, but the variation is very much. This side 10, on the lower side also 10. Whereas for 100 mm fall, there is a variation is very less. 30 mm takes, but 32 mm and to 28 mm. So 2 mm only variation on either side. So this is a better measure. Now, number of parts, number of operators, number of trials, that is repeats, are given in a data for gauge study. Okay. Now, with this data, we'll have to find out the measure for each part and then put it in a tabular form. See, this is the tabular form. See, this is what the data is only this much. Okay, the data is only the X values of the data measured for each operator for 3 repetitions for each part we're taking. Then what you have to do is we have to find out in step 1 the average of these 3 trials, the range for these trials, put it in this here. The average of these 3 trials, the range for these trials, I'll put it here. So similarly, for each part, for each operator, I'm getting this data. So this data will be filled for all this. Okay. Once we find out, then step 2 is we have to find out the average of these averages and average of these ranges. These two are find out here. Step 2 and step 3 are I am finding the average of APO and RPOs. Okay. You know what is APO? APO is average per part per operator. Range is RPO is range per part per operator. So when we found out these things, then we will have to find out average of these averages and average of these ranges for each operator. Once we find out, then what we do is in step 4, find out the average of all these averages. These range values are there, no? 3 operators, 3 values will be there. So the average of 3 values. Similarly here, the range of 3 averages here. You will have 3 averages, no? Average 1, average 2, average 3 will be, no? For each operator. So the range of 3 averages will find out. Step 5. And then step 6, what we do is, forget about the operator, forget about the trials. For each part, for all the values, readings, you take the average. Similarly, for each part 1, part 2, part 3, we are finding out the averages. Once we find out the averages, we will have as many number of averages as there are number of parts. Find out the range for these averages, right? The range will be only one value here. So once we find out, this is step 7. Once these steps are done, you can now go ahead and find out the percentage gauge R&R. See, this is what here, right? Okay. See, take the pointer. Options is there, no? No. Right. Now what here? We will find out A1, APO, RPO. How will we find out? We'll see here. See, operator is there, one operator, 3 tiles are there. And then what we do is, for these 3 measures, we will find out the average, find out the range. Okay. Then what we will do for this, step 2. Step 2, what we will do is, this is there. For each operator, average per part is there. We have to find out the average of these things, right? Okay. Then AAPO for each operator will be there. Similarly, for the ranges, right? For each operator, we'll have to find out the average of ranges. So we'll go back. Now, step 5, the range of these values, average of these ranges, right? Once we find out this, then we can go to find out the range of average for each part. That is, average of each part is there. And then we are going to find out the averages and then the ranges for this. Once we find out these ranges, this is, I've given all the steps I'm explaining here. Find the average and range for each part, for each operator. You know how to find out, right? Step 1. Find the average of averages, that is average of these values, and the average of these ranges, right? It's the average of these ranges we are finding out. And then find out the average of average. See, the value is no from here, from step 3, right? We are finding out average of averages. Step 5 is find the range between operators. Use data AAPO, this one. So the range for this, average for these values, we are finding out in step 4. Average for this, we are finding it out step 4, which is AA, RPO. And the range for this second step answer we are getting as RA, APO, right? Once we get this, find the average of each part, use data from each part column in the table. Here we go to the table, right? Find the range of averages between each part. This also I explained, step number 7. Once these are obtained, you are ready to do the calculations and get the percentage gauge R and R. Now you have to find out K1, K2, K3, which are a function of D2, nothing but 1 by D2, right? Because we cannot say that 1 by D2 for all, so, because D2 values will be different. Therefore, to differentiate, I am using K1 for the first D2, K2 for the second D2, K3 for the third D2. All values are obtained by the reciprocal of the D2 values in each category, right? We are finding out this D2 values for G and M values from the table. Now then calculations. We will see how to calculate this K1, K2, K3 later. But at present, once we have known K1, step 4 we have found out AAP RPO. So I just multiply K1 by AA RPO. Then that is equipment variation, repeatability variation, gauge variation, whatever you may call it. Then I am just doing a small calculation here, which we'll be using later on. Per operator, we are trying to find out the repeatability. That is EV squared. That is the square of this, not E into V squared. Please note the square of this EV, right? Divided by number of parts into number of repeats, trials. We are dividing. We are keeping this value, right? And then reproducibility calculations. What we are doing is we have found out the K2 value. So reproducibility variation is obtained by taking the square root of K2 into RAAPO, which we obtained from step 5, right? So this square, which contains a part of repeatability, no, that we are subtracting. So EV squared by NP, which we have calculated here, subtracting, and taking the square root, that means the standard deviation, which is the variation, right? Reproducibility variation. Then this is called AV. We know EV, this is called appraiser's variation. Okay. Now gauge R and R variation is obtained by taking the square root of the EV squared plus AB squared. The summation of square of these two values is here. Taking the square root gives you gauge R and R variation. Then we find out gauge R and R variation. No, we have found out already, right? There's no need. We have already found out. Now part to part variation we'll find out. We know K3 value. We will see how to find out K3 in the next slide. Part to part variation is nothing but the product of what we obtained from step 7, range of average of parts into K3 value. This is part to part variation. Total variation is the square root of the sum of the gauge R and R squared plus this PV squared, right? Because only variances can be added. That is why we are finding out variances, adding, and then finding out the standard deviation, which is total variation, right? So for 3 operators, 10 parts and 3 trials, D2 values are given here. I will show you how we are finding out, right? Therefore, for these 3 different values, D2, 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 we'll find out K1, K2, K3. This is used for repeatability. This is for reproducibility. This is for part-to-part variation, right? Similarly, we are going to find out for 5 operators, 2 parts, 3 repeats, this value is K1 is K2 is K3, we are finding out, right? We will see how we are finding it out. These are repeated here. Please note, for 3 operators, 10 parts we will see, and 3 trials, because this is what example I'm going to show you. K1 is equal to, first we are going to find out D2 values for the row 15, greater than 15 is here, right? And then 3, M is equal to 3. This is trials taken as 3, 1.693. Therefore, 1.693 I have taken, right? Okay. And for K2, sorry, it is not K3, it is K2, D2 1, 3, 1, 3. This is 1.9112, right? This table gives you 2 decimal accuracy, and then 2 digits more decimal accuracy, we can get it. And for K3, we are getting D2 1, 10. This will be in the next table. We'll see that. 1 second. Right? We will see this. So here it is given here, right? So for 10 parts, we're getting 3.178. So we know D2 values are this. So 1 by D2 is K3, right? We'll see an example now. So this is the example. Now 3 operators A, B, C, 3 trials for each part. Number of parts is 10 parts. So the values are given here, right? The values are, measures are given here. So in this case, first we will do the part-to-part variation itself, because it's very simple to calculate here. I'm finding out the average of this column, So similarly for average of all the 10 columns. Then find the range of this. The range is maximum of this minus minimum of this. Please note, range of averages will always be positive, right? Even if you have both negative values, you will have only positive values. You can check it out, right? Take 2 negative values, find out the range, it will always be positive. Then part variation is multiplied by K3 values. That is what is given here. K3 we know 0.3146. So 0.3146 into 3.111 is 1.1046. This total variations we are yet to calculate. Therefore, we will wait for it. And we will see K1 and K2 and then repeatability and reproducibility in the next slides. Now this is the averages. You know how to find out the average part 1 operator A, part 2 operator A. Similarly, part 1 operator B, part 1 operator C. For all the values I am finding out. Then I am finding out average of all these averages for reproducibility calculations. And then finding out the range of this averages. This is here. Appraiser's variations we cannot now calculate. We can calculate only after finding the gauge error, right? Repeatability error, right? D2 1, 2 that I showed you in the slide. The tables, D2 tables, I showed you how to get it. And now this here for ranges. For each part, for each operator, I've given the ranges. Finding out the average of ranges. Average of averages we have already done in the previous slide. So average of averages we have to do it. So equipment variation we can find out from these values. So what we do is we have to find out the average of these average ranges. And then this I have to multiply by K1 value. K1 value I have already told you what is the value. So we have to multiply by that value. You will get this answer. So once we get this equipment variation, we can go to the previous slide and then get the appraiser's variation, right? Now we have found out the total variation, gauge and R&R variation. Gauge R&R variation also I told you about the formula. Once you know the reproducibility error and repeatability error, the square root of the sum of the squares of the two is the gauge R&R. So now gauge and R&R is known, part-to-part variation is known, total variation is known. So gauge R&R divided by total variation into 100 is gauge R&R percentage, right? Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for SPC Excel for Excel software, Dr. Bill, and also Dr. Gopal Shivakumar, CEO of Visual Excellence, for helping me with some of the problems where I was having little difficulty in finding out the D2 values and K parameters. Thank you very much.